and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Central Europe. I hope everybody has had a great week and is looking forward to a fantastic weekend. In this class, we are looking at Task 2 writing and how to pass with a Band 9 in the writing section. Of course, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have lots and lots of help for you, including professional editing for the writing. This is our academic website here with a blue background. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. Our general IELTS website looks like this with the green background, and you can click that big red button to join us there. Welcome, members. We have lots of people joining in. Hi, Abhishek. Hi, Rajveer, Ois, Chabi, Ferdavs, Bharat. Nice to see you. Patricio, welcome back to our group of members. Good to see you in the class. Hi, Rashika. All right, everyone, check out our new Instagram profiles. For academic IELTS, follow us on IELTS_AEHelp. And for general IELTS, follow us at GIELTSHelp, promoting our new Instagram accounts. Insta25, use that for a 25% discount on our websites. If you have a question, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. Hi, Patricio. Nice to see you. Students, let's finish that task 2 right now that we started yesterday. Of course, everybody is welcome to watch. In about 90 minutes, we will have an all-chat class where everybody will be able to join the chat. That will be for reading. And we'll have classes tomorrow as well. So make sure to join. That will be speaking. All right, everyone, so let's get into this. I really want to finish this essay with you today, members, so let's get on it. You know, the class is about an hour long, and well, these essays take 40 minutes, even in the IELTS, so let's do this together. Okay, here is the Task 2 question from yesterday. Task 2 writing, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. In some areas of the US, a curfew is imposed in which teenagers are not allowed to be out of doors after a particular time at night unless they are accompanied by an adult. What is your opinion about this? So as we discussed, this is an open question. Okay, and you write 250 words. We paraphrased. We identified the topic, lots of good tips and strategies in yesterday's class. You can check out that video. And then we came up with some good ideas. So good planning for open questions or open-ended questions is very important. And this was the introduction that came out of the planning, which we finished yesterday. So that was a good job there, everyone. Nicely done. Here it is. So controlling juvenile activities at certain times in the day has become necessary in certain regions in the US. Now that I read it again, and this is why it's good to always go back and read it, I want to make a correction in my hook. What do you think I'm going to correct? So again, I always encourage you, go back to your writing the next day, look at it again, make some corrections, make it better. What do you think I'm going to correct here after reading my hook today? I'm going to make just one quick correction to make it better. What do you think it will be? So I just read it. It's good. I like it, but I want to make it even better. So I'm going to correct a little bit. Yeah, Rajveer says he's going to correct certain times at night. Okay, you're on the right track, Rajveer. Okay. Certain times in the day, I mean, nighttime is the day. It's not really, so this isn't bothering me so much. Okay. I can be more specific and write night. Yeah, very good, Kashirsha. Kashirsha says the repetition of certain. Yeah, that's what bothers me more than anything, is just repeating the word certain twice in my first sentence. So help me out here, members. What kind of a word can I use to paraphrase one of these words, certain, so I don't repeat the same word. So controlling juvenile activities at certain times in the day, which is the nighttime, has become necessary in certain regions in the U.S. So help me to paraphrase one of these. What is a synonym for certain? Yeah, specific, right? Now, before I do that, so specific is okay. Therefore, in some states and countries, a specific time. Oh, I have specific right there. Let me change it to something else. There we go, Rajveer. A particular. Nicely done. Okay. It's another way to say certain. Yeah. So this way I've decreased my repetition and I've increased my lexical resource. Absolutely. So here we go. So again, always go back, review, and remove repetition, make grammatical corrections, and especially make corrections to content if you see necessary, okay? Distinct is good as well, Abhishek. Yeah, that would work. So controlling juvenile activities at certain times in the day has become necessary in particular regions in the U.S. Therefore, in some states and counties, a specific time at which juveniles are restricted from being outdoors through a set of laws and consequences has been mandated. This has a significant impact on teenagers and society. Although imposing a curfew on minors restricts their freedom, I believe that having such regulation not only discourages delinquency, but also encourages development. Okay, great. Now, let's get going on our body paragraph 1. So, body paragraph 1 will be a deeper definition of my first key point. My first key point is that I believe having curfews discourages delinquency. That's my first key point. That's clear in my thesis, and now I'm going to create a body paragraph around that, explaining it further, giving examples and so forth, and even going into a deeper definition. So body 1 starts with a topic sentence, and the topic sentence is a deep definition of key point 1 from the thesis. In this case, that is regulation or curfew. Let's be a bit more specific. Discourages delinquency. Okay. All right. And so give me your topic sentence for this. All right. Hopefully some of you were studying, preparing even perhaps last night. So you're ready with some thoughts. All right. Abhishek's ready. You're being very studious, Abhishek, and that's going to really pay off. That is key to success. Okay. Abhishek says the topic. Abhishek, I like how you put the letter T there to show that that's your topic. Okay. Keeping teenagers confined to their homes during late hours of the night is beneficial for the community to reduce crime rates and addictive habits such as smoking and drugs. Okay, Abhishek, good. Yeah, I think that's fine. That could work really well. Okay, careful not to overdo it. I mean, you still can explain later, but I think that's a great start. Okay. Ferdov says a curfew protects teenagers from being involved in illegal activities. Okay, Ferdovs, so yeah, maybe even a bit more so that you're not just simply repeating the key point 1. You're still quite close, Ferdovs, to the key point. You want to be even a bit deeper, okay? Nick Hill says prohibiting youngsters from doing illegal activities late night by forcing them to stay indoors mitigates crime rates. Okay, Nick Hill, not bad. Careful with your grammar. Okay. Rajveer says, even though confining minors indoors limits their free movements, it dissuades adolescents indulging in harmful and criminal activities. Very good, Rajveer. Rajveer, I like how you did the argument counter argument technique. So limiting free movement and then counter argument. Now, Rajveer, when you do that, think about a deeper definition of limiting their freedom. Okay, so limiting their freedom. Okay, what I mean by that, Rajveer, is we have limiting freedom in the introduction, so restricts their freedom. Okay, so you have the right idea, but I would define that further. So I would do it something like this, Rajveer. Although forcing adolescents to stay indoors after dusk limits their social activities with peers. It also limits their involvement in risky and illegal behaviors, which can lead to social and physical harm. Okay? So exactly what you're doing, Rajveer, but more definition, more description of what we're actually talking about, okay? You're always going for that extra step, all right? Always says when minors spend a lot of time at home, they get into less trouble, unlike when they go out and participate in risky activities. Always. A lot, 2 words. That's a mistake that most students will learn in grade 4 or 5 in Canada and the US, because it's one of the pet peeves of teachers is students writing a lot as one word. It's a lot, okay? It's the article a and the word lot. So a lot, all right? 2 words. Always, the other clear mistake that you want to avoid is using the future participle will. Okay, in good writing, essays do not jump around from past to present to future, because then you're going to create time confusion and it's awkward for your reader. So you want to maintain present tense as much as possible. Okay. All right, so you see that here. So here I'm basically doing what Rajveer did. So argument and then right away counter argument to my opinion. With more details, right? So forcing adolescents to stay indoors is a little bit of a paraphrase of restricting freedom. And then I do a little bit more, so limits their social activities with peers. So what is that freedom that we're taking away from these adolescents? Well, we're kind of taking away their interaction with their cohorts. Cohorts or peers are the people that are in their social groups who are the same age as them, okay? So it's a little bit more there. And then I go into a little bit more about discouraging delinquency. So what is delinquency? Limiting involvement in risky and illegal behaviors. That's for Dobbs, that's about what you had there. And then with an adjective clause, I'm adding a little bit more. So leading to social and physical harm, right? So emphasizing that extra step of, well, okay, crimes and smoking and drinking, what does that actually lead to? That leads to social and physical harm for the teenager, for society. Do you see, for Dobbs, that extra little step with that adjective clause, which can lead to social and physical harm? And now I can explain that. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. So now comes the explanation. All right? Following along with me? So you see how that's that extra little push for Dobbs, right? Yeah, good. You see it. Perfect. And that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do to get those higher band scores, to get that clear communication to your audience. Okay, so let's do the explanation. Okay, so let's explain this. Okay. All right. Ferdov says, in other words, minors outside after 6 p.m. without adults may interact with criminals and copy their behavior or begin to smoke and drink alcohol, which is prohibited for teens. Yeah, okay, Firdaz, I like it. Yeah, so that's the explanation, right? Actually giving a picture to your reader now, starting to quantify it, right? Starting to make it into a contextual physical concept. Okay, very good. Bahrat says, curfew decreases the rate of wrongdoing activities such as drug dealing, alcohol, and theft. Bahrat, don't use etc. Can you give me a thumbs up on that, Bahrat? Don't use etc. in your writing or in your speaking. Don't use and so on. In college, university, you always get a red circle and go, what's that? You don't need to use etc. It's very rare that we use that in writing. Just finish the sentence. So such as dealing drugs, drinking alcohol, and stealing property. Parallel grammar, right? Drug dealing, alcohol, drinking, and property theft. Okay, so noun, verb, noun, verb, noun, verb. If you want to simplify it, Bahrat, then you just want to say drugs, alcohol, and theft. It's a little bit more concise. I would go with that. Okay, and no etc. Just finish your sentence. It's enough. Meanwhile, students give their leisure time to attract towards social activities. That's unclear, Bahrat, so rephrase that. Okay. All right. So no etc., no and so on. Okay. Thumbs up, Bahrat. Got it? Looks bad. Okay. Don't do it. It's a junior high school mistake. Okay. Rajveer says hundreds of juveniles partake in risky activities such as reckless driving, drinking alcohol, and smoking cigarettes due to peer pressure once the sun has set, after 11, at discos, pubs, and house parties. I love it, Rajveer. That's great. I added a little bit to it. And again, watch that parallel grammar. Okay, so the rate of bad behaviors, such as drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and reckless driving, increases threefold during the night hours after 10 p.m. Because of peer pressure at pubs, discos, and house parties. Yeah, that's a really nice explanation there. I think that gives a very clear idea to your reader of what you're thinking about, okay? Now, Rajveer, notice the correction, right? So drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and reckless driving. Driving recklessly, reckless driving. So here, I still have a slight kind of a mistake because I have drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, so I have ing noun, and reckless driving. I want to change that, so I want to have the ing before reckless, okay? So driving reckless would be a little bit better. Okay, so we'll really watch that parallel grammar. It's easy to make a mistake, okay? So, such as drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and driving reckless increases threefold during the night hours after 10 p.m. because of peer pressure at pubs, discos, and house parties. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that's some nice parallel grammar, nice use of qualitative language. 10 p.m. Threefold means 3 times more. Okay, there we go. All right. Driving reckless instead of recklessly. So we don't want to use the adverb, Rajveer. So driving reckless, parallel grammar. Okay, very good. Devansh says the new generation's used to is involved. Devansh, not used to. The new generation is often involved in drugs with their friends, which leads them to criminal activities and damaging their future career and life opportunities. Okay, Devansh, good ideas. Careful with your grammar and the way you express that. Make sure that you use words correctly. Okay. Gian says, likewise, curfews discourage the rate of illegal behaviors such as drug abuse, drug and alcohol, and sexual abuse. Okay, so Gian, drug, comma, alcohol, comma, sexual abuse. Because drug, alcohol, and sexual can all modify the word abuse. Got it? Thumbs up, Gian. Yeah, Titan. Got it? Okay, so careful with parallel grammar. Lots of parallel grammar mistakes, students. Okay, so I'm going to write a little tip on that. High band, so band 8, band 9 writing does not have parallel grammar mistakes. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to write that here. Band 8 and 9 writing does not have what's called parallel grammatical or grammar mistakes. Okay. If you're not familiar with what parallel grammar means, check it. Okay. It means that when you're writing a list or creating or joining two phrases, then your grammar forms match so it doesn't create grammar confusion. Okay. All right. Okay, so far so good. As you can notice, members, I'm reading different students at different times, so keep going. All right, now we're going to write our example. Okay. Now, the example, before you do that, remember a couple of important points here. It's first person voice and US. Okay. By US, I mean United States here. Okay. Why? Because of the question. So always keep the question in your mind, okay? So it says here in some areas of the U.S., a curfew is imposed. So it's good to focus on the U.S. for the example here. And also it's first person because it's what is your opinion about this. And in our thesis, we started with that first person voice of my opinion. Okay, so I believe. So we want to keep that first person voice here in our example, and we want to include some concept of the US. Okay, Ferdov says, for instance, statistics show that in New York, delinquency rate among adolescents was tenfold higher after 7 p.m. In 2001, after imposing a curfew, it dropped to half, minimizing pressure on the public. Yeah, Ferdovs, very good. Now, include first person. So I read a report that in New York, and then the rest of it's great. Okay, Ferdovs. So that's all you want to do. Keep writing, students. I'm just going to take Ferdov's example because that's exactly what I'm looking for here. And then I'll look at some other ones as well. So I saw a newscast that in New York, the delinquency rate among minors is 400% higher after 10 p.m. And since imposing a curfew in 2018, this has dropped to less than half, thereby alleviating pressure on parents and the public. Okay. All right. Very good. Yeah, so that's exactly what we're looking for. No, OIS. The examiner does not care if you're from the US or not. They're just looking at the example. There's a lot of news about the US in the media, so it's totally fine. Okay. Amrita says in metropolitan cities of the US, youngsters imitate glamorous life and go to parties and pubs late at night, leading to an increase in delinquent behavior. Amrita, that's not an example. That's an explanation. Okay, an example is a specific case study. Okay, I think many of you who have already done some university studies know the difference between an experiment and a case study. Okay, so let me give you a tip here. Okay. It's my thesis, so let me put it up here. Okay, here we go. Tip. When you think about example, think about a case study. A specific event which can be used as a clear instance for the explanation. Okay, the important word here is case study, and I think many of you who have already done a bachelor's degree are familiar with what that means. Does everybody know what that means, a case study? And that's what you should be thinking about. You can, in fact, you can even use those words. You can say that a case study in New York revealed that. Okay, you can even show that, because case study is a used collocation that is very clearly recognized. Okay, and if you use the words case study, that collocation, your examiner will even think, aha, this student knows some university kind of level language. Okay. Yeah, so Abhishek says it's a real use case. It's a case study, okay? So when you're thinking examples, think about a case study, okay? Those make the best examples, all right? And I can see that Rajveer, Devansh, and others are saying, yes, I know what that is. Okay, so Amrita, that's what you want to do. Okay, Amrita, can I get a thumbs up, Amrita, and go, yeah, I'll use a case study next time. Okay, something really specific, all right? So not just that teenagers go out and party in the US at nighttime, because that's still just an explanation, okay? More than an actual example, all right? So like what? Kids in New York go to the Galaxy disco and then drink until 2 a.m. and then break windows after they come out onto the streets. Is that what you mean? And then you go, yes. And then you go, oh, okay, then that's your example, okay? Amrita, good, thumbs up, fantastic, all right? Okay, cool. So we're moving along nicely, and then now simply we just do a connecting sentence. This is one of two reasons that I am in support of implementing a curfew for minors. Okay, all right. So now, again, while I'm reading, I want to review my body paragraph, read it, revise it if necessary, and then again, one day later, come back and fix it. Now, of course, I would have written my whole essay here in one sitting, revised it right away, revised it an hour later, and then revised it a day later, and revised it again a week later. That is what leads to improving your writing, okay? So right now I'm going to do my instant revision. This is my instant revision here. Although forcing adolescents to stay indoors after dusk limits their social activities with peers, it also limits their involvement. So right away, oh, look at that. I have limits and limits. Let me think of another word for limits. Limits their social activities with peers. It also... what's another word for limits? Let's see. I can always go to the top here to my review and then check my thesaurus. And it says bounds, restricts, confines. So there's a few different ways to say limits. Okay. I'm going to go with restricts. Sure. Just so I'm not repeating the same word. I'm using the thesaurus for that. Okay. Yeah. Restricts is good. Ali says governs. Yeah, that's good too. Very good, Heijin. Restricts. Yeah. So, and if you can't come up with it, use your thesaurus. You'll learn that new word. So, although forcing adolescents to stay indoors after dusk limits their social activities with peers, it also restricts their involvement in risky and illegal behaviors which can lead to social and physical harm. The rate of bad behaviors such as drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, and driving reckless increases threefold during the night hours after 10 p.m. because of peer pressure at pubs, discos, and house parties. I saw a newscast in New York, the delinquency rate. I saw a newscast that in New York, the delinquency rate among minors is 400% higher after 10 p.m. And since imposing a curfew, okay, here I have a little bit of a tense mistake. Was, right? Or even had been. So had been 400% higher after 10 p.m. And since imposing a curfew in 2018, this has dropped to less than half. Much better grammar, thereby alleviating pressure on parents and the public. This is one of two reasons that I am in support of implementing a curfew for minors. Good sound argument, good sound grammar, lexical resource. Now, if I go back tomorrow, I can probably make it even better. And if I go back a week from that time, I will probably make it even that much better. Okay, so reviewing and revising again and again is a very good strategy. And I'm going to write that tip for you up here. Okay, so tip. Review and revise your writing while practicing at home. Right after you write, a couple of hours later, a day later, and a week later. Okay? You will see significant improvements. All right? Everybody got that? So that's an important tip. And it might seem a little bit cumbersome and tiring at the start, but you do it a few times, you definitely will see some improvement, okay? So right after, a couple hours after, even if you don't have a lot of time to really get into it, just reading it and thinking about it and thinking, how can I make this better, is enough, okay? All right, Nick Hill says, yeah. All right, so right away, an hour later, day later, and a week later. Okay. All right. So let's get into our second body paragraph now. We're going to do a little bit faster writing here, so work on your writing fluency for this. Okay. It's our body 2. It's our point 2. Body 2.2, of course, is encouraging development. And right away comes your topic sentence here, which is encouraging development. So give me your topic sentence for body paragraph 2. I'm going to write, you're going to write, we're going to compare. Okay? All right. Good. Ferdov says, meanwhile, adolescents can spend their time after 6 p.m. to strengthen family bonds and learn new skills. Very nice, Ferdovs. I love it. Rajveer says, night curfews for minors enable juveniles to spend some extra hours on their studies, thereby improving their knowledge and confidence. Yeah, good. Abhishek says, furthermore, with imposing a lockdown in the U.S. on minors, not only can youngsters focus on their studies, but also they can spend quality time with their family. Very good. And all what you are doing is just taking from our planning. I did the same. So I like the use of furthermore here, and I see that Abhishek liked that word as well. The difference between in addition and furthermore is that furthermore is like plus one with a star. Okay, so keep this in mind, all right? This is just a little extra note here. So when you use furthermore, it's like saying plus one with a gold star. Okay, when you're saying in addition, so this is English at the highest level, feeling these subtle differences between furthermore and in addition. In addition means simply another point which is equally important to the first. Let me make this a little bit clearer. Another point which is even more important than the first. Okay? Do you see the difference now between furthermore and in addition? And in this case, for me, it's a furthermore, because I think that we shouldn't simply just be focusing on reducing delinquent behavior, but rather we should be emphasizing the need of a curfew to encourage positive behavior. Okay? So you get the difference between furthermore and in addition, and good authors will control the selection of words and connective words with a lot of intent, with a lot of intention. They don't have just kind of, oh, I'll just choose one or the other. No, it's very intentive. In this case, I want furthermore because this is even more important than my first point. Okay? So furthermore, by keeping teens at home after sunset, parents have more opportunities to have their children engage in productive behavior, which can lead to their mental and physical progression for a better adult life. Now comes the explanation, everyone. So let's go with some explanations. Okay, Amrita, others, I'm seeing what you're writing. I will read some as well. We're just going to keep rolling along here, okay? So explanations, okay? So all right. So, typing away again, quantitative language. Okay. Ali says, additionally, teenagers can make use of their time at home by improving their studies and strengthening bonds among family members. Okay, good, Ali. That's your topic sentence. Now, again, I would use furthermore instead of additionally, but additionally is okay. So that here we're being very picky. All right, Ferdav says, it is proven that spending more time with parents and siblings improves relationships among them. Aside from that, if minors acquire necessary skills through online lessons, is beneficial for later life. Okay, Ferdav's good writing. Instead of between them, among them. Between two, among many. Okay, keep that in mind. Between two, among many. That's a mistake that the examiner will catch, the marker. Okay. Oh, it says when minors do not go outside at night due to curfew, they have more time to spend with their family and learn wisdoms. Studying hard can lead to great success in life. Ois, good ideas. Keep working on the grammar. Okay, keep working on the grammar. A lot of review, revision, editing. Okay. Bakrat says there are also some benefits for 15 to 17-year-olds to having a curfew. Teenagers can show their interest towards many activities such as dance, singing, piano. Okay, yeah, Bakrat, you're on the right idea. You need to chisel it a little bit, polish it, but you're on the right track. Rajveer says teens can learn advanced languages, mathematics skills every day for 4 hours in the evening, and can also learn computer skills, which can help them in their careers. Very good, Rajveer. I like how you're being very concrete. Okay, examples should be explanations should be very concrete. All right. Nick Hill says spending an extra 3 to 4 hours with parents and their siblings creates strong bonds amongst them, as well as studying hard helps to increase scores in academic studies. These practices are beneficial for their future. Very good, Nick Hill. I love it. Okay. Hajin says minors have the opportunity to focus on specific subjects that they would like to develop further. Notwithstanding, staying at home during the evening allows minors and family to strengthen their bonds through frequent communication. Very good, Hajin. Hajin, also keep working towards those very concrete ideas like Rajveer has. Okay, so go into the advanced language, mathematical skills, hand-eye coordination, something like that. Okay, so get right in there. All right. Okay. Amrita says, after a busy schedule for the day, minors get the opportunity to spend time with their parents to share their worries and feel relaxed and get solutions for their tensions. Okay. Find solutions to their problems, Amrita. Yeah. Okay, find solutions. Not get solutions of their tensions, but find solutions to their problems. Okay. All right. Now comes the example. So here's my explanation. Okay. In the 3-4 hours in the evening when juveniles are only allowed out with adults. I haven't forgotten that. The question says they're allowed outside, but with parents. Okay. Teens can spend time playing sports with their parents or working together on their studies. This leads to mutual respect and strong communication among family members, and in turn results in smart, confident, and successful young adults. Okay, good. So now let's go with the example and let's connect and use the example from the first body paragraph with the New York delinquency rate, 10 p.m. curfew, and then there's a decrease in delinquency. So now, of course, we can use that in this paragraph and state that there's an increase in academic performance, right? That could be our very specific response, and we create a lot of cohesion there. So in the same newscast, research also showed I'm going to be a little bit more specific. I don't refer to location in the text. So I don't say in the newscast I mentioned above. It's awkward, okay? Do not refer to location of information in your text. It's awkward for most readers, all right? I see students doing that sometimes, like in the paragraphs below, I will explain. Okay, fine, yeah, you have paragraphs below. I'm assuming that that's what you're going to do because that's what an essay is. It's awkward, okay? Everybody clear on that? Don't refer to location in the text. The only time that strategy is used is in very long texts, okay? Very, very long texts. Certainly not a 250 word text, okay? So when you have 1,000 words or 2,000 words minimum, then you might refer to some locations in some research papers, but not on the IELTS, okay? Don't refer to location in your text. It's awkward, right? So in the same newscast I saw on New York Teens, research showed that after 2018, the academic performance of 15 to 18 year olds or 17 year olds has improved by 20%. Okay, so connection there, and it's clear, all right? Now I can go into my conclusion, okay? Okay, everyone, so again, I'm going to do a quick review of my paragraph just to make sure that it flows and it fits. Here we go. Furthermore, by keeping teens at home after sunset, parents have more opportunities to have their children engage in productive behavior, which can lead to their mental and physical progression for a better adult life. In the 3 to 4 hours of the evening when I'm going to change this to in is okay, of is a little bit better. Of the evening, when juveniles are only allowed out with adults, teens can spend time playing sports with their parents or working together on their studies. This leads to mutual respect and strong communication among family members, and in turn results in smart, confident, and successful young adults. In the same newscast I saw in New York Teens, research showed that after 2018, once the curfew has been imposed, it's a bit repetitive, I don't need it, the academic performance of 15 to 17-year-olds has improved by 20%, okay? And now I go into my conclusion, okay? All right. Nick Hill, let me just see a couple of examples here. Nick Hill says, in that same article, for instance, during lockdown, more than 60 to 70% of teenagers had learned some programming language and also watched movies with their families. Reported, okay? So Nick Hill, make sure that you're not changing the concept, but it's close, okay? Good. Amrita says, during the corona pandemic, most teenagers are at home due to the lockdown, and it is seen that they have more time with technology. Nowadays, they're more comfortable on using computers and laptops. Okay, Amrita, careful not to change your example from teenagers being forced to stay at home to a pandemic. It's a little bit awkward. Okay, so just put that to the side and stay focused, okay? Ferdov says, in conclusion, imposing certain rules and regulations on adolescents at specific moments in the day can not only decrease crimes among youth, but also give them more time to obtain the latest skills. Okay, so Ferdov, that's your conclusion, I'm guessing, and form lasting connections between family. It is beneficial for both the teens and society. Yeah, for Dobbs, that could be a good conclusion. Okay, I think you're definitely on the right track. Good. I will write a conclusion after the class and share that with you tomorrow, members. Okay, so maybe at the beginning of our Speaking Part 2 class, I'll share the conclusion. Hey, Jin, too bad you didn't keep your response up there. I could have given you some feedback, okay? Amrita, I will take a couple of minutes in tomorrow's class at the beginning of our Speaking Part 2 to go over the conclusion. Okay, I promise you, Amrita, that we'll do a little bit on the conclusion so that you can see it. I'll write it and then I'll explain the conclusion at the start of next class. Okay, and then we'll spend the rest of it on Speaking Part 2. Okay. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Abhishek, good job on the conclusion as well. And that's actually not it for today. It's it for this class. Again, I'll do the conclusion at the beginning of the speaking class tomorrow. For everybody watching, you can join our premium IELTS package with lots of HD videos, crisp, clear, smooth, bright, at aehelp.com for academic IELTS, gieltshelp.com for general. Coming up in about 30 minutes, I will host one more class today for reading, and everybody will be able to join that class, okay? So keep up the good work. Lots of really nice writing today. By the way, students, I tip my hat to you members. A lot of you have made leaps and bounds of improvement in your use of English and even your thinking of the way that you're putting together your ideas for your audience so that you're communicating much clearer. And that's fantastic to see. So keep it up, and hopefully I'll see you in half an hour. I'm Adrian. Bye for now. See you soon.